Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going over the pistol that you see in my hands right here. This is one of the newer, if not the newest offering from Canik, at least as of when I'm filming this video. This is the Canik TP9SA or Single Action Mod 2. So they made some changes to it. Probably most importantly to you guys out there is going to be the price point. So the price point on this one, the MSRP, they moved it down to, I believe, $399. Again, that's MSRP. You look around out there on the street, you can find it well below that, which certainly is good. But the pistol itself, we're going to go over the differences, what changed besides the price, the actual details of the gun itself. If you guys don't care, you've never seen the original and you're just interested in picking up one of these, we're going to go over how it performed, the different features it has, all that fancy stuff. After the dogs take a look at it, once that happens, we'll come in, get into those details, and at the end we'll let you know how it did and what I think of it overall. Before we get into the details of the pistol itself, I just kind of want to go over what's different between the original TP9SA and then the Mod 2. We already mentioned the price on there. There's a few other differences between the pistols. If you take a look here on the top of the slide, you'll see one of the big differences. We do have these ribs here on the original versus on the V2. We have a flat top here. Canik says over on their site that it's to maintain or rather to allow the shooter to get a quicker sight picture. I wouldn't say that's true. My guess is it's probably cheaper to not have to mill that in there. And that said, as I've said in a million pistol reviews, I don't see any advantage to having the ribs on top. Some people say it's anti-glare. I've never had glare through the sights on any pistol I've ever used, and I shoot out in bright sunlight all the time. So that's definitely one of the big differences. You guys can also see, if my camera will focus here, probably the biggest difference here is going to be the decocker. So the SA pistol is kind of famous or infamous, depending on whom you ask, for having a decocker feature. So this one here, the V2, is no different. It just has a smaller, much more streamlined one than the V1 here. Now, when the V1 first came out, a lot of people online were basically saying that it was not a good carry or defensive gun because you could accidentally engage this decocker, and that would render your pistol essentially not working until you rack the slide. So for those who don't know, it is a single action striker fired gun. So when you hit this decocker, it does enable you to take the gun down, and it does render the striker that you saw here on the rear not cocked anymore. At this point, you pull the trigger, nothing will happen until you cycle the action and then once again engage. Now, people were worried that you could accidentally engage it. I shot the gun a good bit. I'd never had that ever be a thing. However, on the V2, it still gives you that capability to disassemble the pistol, which we'll show you here in a little bit, without pulling the trigger, but it does it in a way that is definitely much less likely to accidentally be hit. I've never heard of anyone actually doing it with the V1, but this one here definitely makes it much less likely, being single-sided and much smaller as well. But it does the same function there. When you press down, it does decock the pistol. You guys will also notice as you look at sort of the slide profiles here that the slide on the V2 is just slimmer all the way around. And another one of the big differences there is going to be the sights. So the sights on the V2 are much improved in my opinion. I like a single dot front sight. I think this rear here with the line, the 2 dots, is probably a little bit busy for me. And the V2 has the Warren tactical sights, which have a nice U-notch rear here. It definitely does allow for most folks, myself included, to pick up the front sight a little bit quicker. It just has that single dot painted one there. And another thing that's very cool about the V2 is that they have standardized, at least as of right now anyway, as I'm making this video, the Canik sights. So all of the TP9 full-size guns are going to have the same sight dovetail, and aftermarket sights are out there available for them. I picked these up here from Night Vision. They're going to be on this gun as soon as this video is over. I just wanted to show the original video with the sights on there so you guys could see it, but aftermarket sights are making them. Night Vision makes a great set, as you guys see here. I've not used them for this pistol, obviously, but I've had them on 2 other guns, and they've been great so far and been pretty affordable. And the fact that there's more and more folks making aftermarket sights for the gun only makes it more attractive, in my opinion. With the differences aside, we'll get into the details of this specific pistol. It does come with two 18-round mags. They are Mech-Gar mags, very high quality. There's really, in my opinion, no way to complain about them. They're based on the M9 mag, the Mech-Gar version of it, and very reliable, very proven at this point. They do have a different cut, though, for those who don't know. Getting onto the frame itself, we have good texturing here on the sides. I've said it before in Canik videos, and I think they kind of get it right here on the sides especially, is that it has some texture to it, of course, and does grip, but it's not super aggressive, whereas on the front strap and the back strap, both, they have these sort of square raised things that are pretty aggressive, and that's really where you need it, because if you're gripping the pistol like this, and the pistol under recoil is recoiling like this, those are the two spots where you're going to have the most friction on your grip. And to have that obviously be aggressive makes it stay in your hand a little bit more, makes the pistol less likely rather, to slip out of your hand. So that certainly is good, the way they do the texturing there. The back strap, I should note, is also interchangeable. They do ship with two of them from the factory. I left the original on there. Typically, I actually switch out for the larger one, but wanted to give it a go here and really didn't notice a difference, honestly, truth to be told. I do have these little cutout areas here on the mag, which I do like, because where the mag interfaces with the frame, rather, it allows you to, if you get a double feed, to strip and rip it and get a little bit more purchase there on the magazine, so that's nice. The magazine release on the pistol is reversible. It comes on the left side, and you can swap it over to the right, and the mags are cut for ambi controls, so you can work it on either side there without issue. The slide lock, however, though, is left side only. You lefties will just kind of have to work it as a righty would, I guess, because the option just isn't there for you. You guys can see there, it locks the slide back just fine. To release it, you can just hit it with your thumb. At that point, the striker will be cocked, and again, to decock it, you can press down like so, or just pull the trigger. Either way, it will work just fine. We have the disassembly levers here on each side, and I will get into that here in just a bit. We have a nice large trigger guard there, and it is undercut, which is also nice. The trigger is great. We'll get into that here in just a second. And we have a 1913 rail up front for any sorts of lasers, lights, anything like that that you want to attach. Getting back to the trigger here on the V2, if you look up the specs on the V2 versus the original, it says it has an improved single action trigger. Number one, the first one, the SA, was phenomenal. The trigger pull is excellent. These Canik pistols have some of the best striker fired triggers out there on the market. Of course, they are, as a lot of folks say, modeled after the PPQ. You guys can debate that down below in the comment section, but that's a great trigger as well. This one is phenomenal. Now, it says it's improved. Now, pulling them, I cannot tell a difference. They both feel awesome. They both break right around 4 pounds very cleanly, which I'll show you here in a second. The difference I can see, though, of course, is the actual trigger itself is different between the two. But the internals, looking at them, they look the same. It feels the same. Honestly, I don't know that it's improved, but the trigger itself, like I said, is excellent. And I'll just kind of go over it here real quick. We have some take up there. Then we're going to hit the wall. Break super crisp, super short, almost no over travel. We're going to reset it. Very tactile, very audible reset. Not sure if my mic is picking it up, but it is. It's excellent. You're not going to find a lot of folks out there that are going to say bad things about the Canik triggers. They might say bad things about the gun, but the triggers certainly are very, very well thought of. Looking at the slide here on the pistol, you guys will see some wear from good, honest use. However, that wear you see is just on the Cerakoted finish, and underneath that, the slide is nitrided. So that nitride treatment is going to, number one, make it black, but then they Cerakote over it because these are also available in flat dark earth. But they Cerakote over it, and even where you see that wear and you see the metal, the nitride treatment is a surface treatment, so it's going to give you good surface hardness, corrosion resistance, and it actually penetrates into the metal, so that protection is still there even where you guys see that wear. We do have serrations here on the back. They're not overly aggressive. They're not as aggressive as some. We do not have any serrations up here on the front. For those of you guys that do dig that, we have a loaded chamber indicator there. As you guys can see, when you have a round in there, it will stick up, giving you a tactile and visual indication that there is a round in the chamber. The pistol ships with a cleaning rod and cleaning brush, which is nice. It also ships with this holster here. You guys can see it has the sort of paddle style and belt loop hybrid, so you can use it either threading your belt through it, or you can use it like a paddle style holster. It also has a retention tab here on the inside, which you do not have to depress to take the pistol out of, and then it also has another retention piece here that you can actually hook in with this strap. I don't really recommend doing that personally. It's kind of janky. However, to get a holster with the pistol shipped at this price that it comes with, I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty good value that you actually get something you can take to the range as soon as you get your gun out of the box. To disassemble the pistol, we're just going to, again, make sure that the pistol is unloaded, let our slide go home. We're going to point in a safe direction, press down on the decocker there, and you guys can see it's pretty hard to do. We're going to pull back slightly on the slide, pull down on these two tabs on each side, and let the slide come off like so. I do have a dedicated pistol cleaning guide for the Canik series of pistols if you guys are interested in that. Our guide rod here is steel, and the barrel is cold hammer forged, and also has that nitride treatment, which is nice. We have a nice wide feed ramp on there. We never had any issues with the Canik pistols with hollow point ammo. This one here has been no exception. It's just over 4.5 inches long, so you're going to get pretty good velocity out of there. Taking a look there on the inside of the slide, you guys can see a little bit of machine marks. I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up, even if I zoom in there for you guys. It will pick it up. There you go. You guys can see it on the inside of the slide, but overall the fit and finish is pretty good. Like I said, trigger mechanism pretty much identical to the original one internally, as you guys can see there on the inside of the frame. Reassembly, we're just going to put our barrel back in, guide rod back in, line the pistol up there on the slide, and that's pretty much it. We're reassembled and ready to go. For those that are new to the channel and haven't seen it before, my videos tend to follow sort of a format, and at the end of the video here I drop the price bomb on you, and people click off and get all mad or post comments down below about it. But I did that in the intro on this one, so the big feature to go over that we didn't go over so far is going to be performance. So accuracy was fine. The Caniks have always been very good actually in that regard, particularly with that trigger. Reliability was good with one hiccup. We had a malfunction with Minimum Ammunition's 115 grain blue coat, I believe it is. They are polymer frame, they're polymer jacketed ammo rather, and it was in the first mag I ran through the gun. After that, we had no malfunctions through about 800 rounds. So in terms of reliability, that's pretty good. Not mad about it. Of course, I'd always like no malfunctions, but it is what it is. We report what we find here on the channel. But all in all, the Canik series of pistols, again, very high value for sure. They're made well. These things now, at least in the US anyway, have a track record for years, and it's a very good track record of providing pistols that work at a good price point. And this one here is no exception. It just sort of upgrades the line of the original SAs in the Canik series. So if you guys have any questions about the gun, anything like that, you can always post down below in the comment section. You can also post over at my Facebook page. As always, if you need to actually get in touch with me and get a response from me, that's the best place to do it, rather than here on YouTube, Full30, or anywhere else that you guys are watching these videos. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Hope to see all of you in the next video.